All right, so about this border bill that Trump had killed by calling up people in Congress saying, no, no, don't let the Democrats get away with this, because that's what happened. Okay, it's not that Trump didn't want the bill; it's that he absolutely could not let the Democrats fool all of you into thinking they care. And if we allowed this half-assed, kind of decent, whatever, not really border bill to happen, then Democrats, yeah, they get the win, but they get to pretend like all of a sudden they care about our southern border when they absolutely don't. And what absolutely would have happened is, as soon as they won the election, then they tell Kamala tells the ACLU, okay, thanks for holding off. Don't attack the legislation. Don't sue us 50 different ways, saying that this part of the bill and that part of the bill is all unconstitutional and it's taking away the illegal immigrants' rights. And go ahead now, sue us and say it's un-American, it's undemocratic, it's not empathetic, right? We're being racist. Sue us, ACLU. Sue us every which way. We want you to destroy this bill. We want the open borders again, right? They would absolutely undo and unravel everything about the bill as soon as they win the election, right? Because the moderators asked Kamala, hey, why did y'all wait till 6 months before the election to do your executive order, right? Because the border bill failed. But it's like, why would... Hey, here's an even better question. Why did you even remove Trump's executive order when you and Biden took office? Why did you remove the executive order for 3.5 years and then you put the executive order back in 6 months before the election, huh? Because we would not have had 10 million illegals flood in. Jocelyn Nunnery, Rachel Moran, Laken Riley, none of them. They all got murdered because of illegals that walked in 2021, 2022, 2023, right? So that's the best question. Why would you even remove Trump's executive order, title whatever, right? Oh, and then 3.5 years later, Biden replaced it. Finally did it, title whatever, a different title, to close down the border basically, but not really. It only limited it would turn away immigrants after 2 million crossings a day. So yeah, we're down. Democrats like to say we're down so much. We're from our all-time highs. Yeah, all-time highs were so off the charts into another universe, and now our numbers are still so high. But compared to where they were, yeah, they can say we're down, but we're still at a levels of millions of illegals coming to this country, and thousands of them are violent, evil people that are going to be attacking your mother, your daughter, your sister, your cousin, any female member or of your family or yourself next. So, of course, Trump wants to be able to emphasize something and not let Democrats get away with burying it under the rug with some half-assed bill. Like, nah, because you know what? Even some Democrats see how bad it is and are willing to get a deal done in swing states and stuff. But it's like, if you had done this half-assed bill, then they're less inclined to team up to do a bill together after the election when Trump wins, and it could be a way better, way stronger bill, because you lose a lot of that oomph, you lose a lot of that power when it's like, yeah, we already got a decent bill in, so it doesn't feel so urgent. But when there's no bill done, it is so urgent still, of course, to get the bill done. But when Republicans are in power, they could do a way better deal. And it's the lesser of two evils. It's like, yeah, okay, cool, it sucks, it's sad. Like, we're gonna have to have less security at the border for another 6 months because it's the only way to shine the light on the fact that the Democrats, this is their MO. This is their strategy for decades, of course, right? It's called starts with a B, the owning of America. And this is their plan, because they put millions of people on welfare and they get them to be lifelong Democrat voters. So they are sacrificing the lives of so many girls, whatever race these victims are, in exchange for having millions more. So we are sacrificing lives of thousands of girls and women for millions more Democrat voters. That is their MO, that is their plan. So I don't know if there's really people out there that think Democrats are sincere about border security, because they're not. They literally need their voters to come in. We talk about, let's be kind and joyful to our neighbor. That's what Kamala was saying. Yeah, that is your MO, that is your philosophy on the southern border too. Leave it open. Let's be so nice and empathetic to our southern border friends and let them all flood into this country. Governor Newsom just vetoed giving away free money to illegal immigrants that want homes. He only vetoed it because he was like, our budget is already so in deficit and we have no money for it. Otherwise, he would have he would have signed into law, and then, oh my God, the floodgates would have opened even more. But if Democrats win the White House, they are going to give all kinds of aid and free money to illegal immigrants for homes, for everything. That is just going to flood this country even more. And yet, their half-ass attempt at a border bill, it was not enough. It was not strong enough. And so, of course, Trump is going to say, no, we're not going to let them off the hook. We got to fight fire with fire because they're lying, they're pretending, they're pandering to y'all, right? They are pandering to voters right before this election. And even the ABC moderators asked her once, why y'all waiting 6 months to do this executive order? They should, when she didn't answer, and she just said, bad Trump this, bad Trump that, they should have said, you know what, to follow up, you didn't answer that. And a better question is, why did you all remove Trump's executive order when you all got into office? Because then we wouldn't have had this 10 million more illegals come in over the last 3.5 years and countless girls' lives murdered. And then, if she had chosen to answer that on the spot, she would have gone into an insane word salad. But the bottom line is, Trump was absolutely right to not negotiate with terrorists and not play their little pandering game of pretending to care about the border by putting this, decent compromised bill with some Democrats, and it's bipartisan. But yeah, who cares? We could get way better, way stronger, everything we want in the bill when Republicans have the Senate as well, when Trump is president. Because if you had done this half-ass bill, then Democrats in the House would see no sense of urgency to do anything, any further bill. Oh, we already did a comprehensive border bill last year. No. So you get one shot to do something really strong, and then the one they were going to do, which Trump said, screw that. Nah. You get one shot to do a big, comprehensive legislative border bill that hasn't been seen in decades. And then you're not going to get to follow it up the next year, 2 years later, and do a better one or a bigger one. Nah. So no. And then, Democrats would be running on it. Like, we got this comprehensive border bill done. Look at us. Yeah. You're not going to... No, Trump is in the right to not let them lie and pretend like they care and get to freaking campaign on. Biden and Kamala admin got to do this border bill. It's because of us. We made the border stronger. Oh my God, it's just sickening. It is so sickening. It is like a boyfriend that is abusive and beats his girlfriend, and she leaves him. And he gets her a gift, like, here, look how good I am. Look how nice I am now. I got you a gift, and I apologize. Take me back. It's like that, or whatever other kind of examples. It's just so ridiculous. It's so fake. It's so sickening. I want to throw up. And anyone that, I don't know if these Democrats that, these Democrat voters that keep referring to Trump killed the border bill. Are they really, are they that stupid and low IQ? Do they really believe what their Democrat leaders are telling them? Or they know, right? They know that Democrats are about open borders and letting in illegals and having so much compassion and empathy, even if it kills them or kills your neighbors. It doesn't matter to them. And so many people, their kindness and their empathy gets them killed. That's not a Republican. We're logical, level-headed, common sense, and that is Trump, and that is what we need. Sorry, he wasn't so professional at the debate, and he shed light on the real issue in Ohio. Not dog eating, right? That is an isolated incident. A lady did eat a cat and all this weird stuff. And it's happening here and there. There's a guy who stole a geese out of the pond and everything like that. The real issue is 15,000 Haitian refugees with protected status were allowed to come in, and they all went to this city, in a city of 60,000. It's just so sad. It is such a destruction of culture. All of a sudden, you went from 60,000 people as your neighbors and your friends that you see at the general store and everything to 15,000 Haitians just took over the city. And so, 1 out of every 4 people now all of a sudden doesn't speak English. It used to be 60,000 English speakers. And now it's 1 out of 4 don't speak English and don't celebrate Christmas, don't celebrate anything you do. That is an insane, jump. No one can deny that is too extreme, not gradual, and ridiculous. Trump shed a light on that in his unarticulate way, and that is the issue with him. He does not say things in articulate ways, but that is in his specialty, and I'm okay with that. He has so many better specialties. And that's what makes him a living legend, iconic, and the greatest president of all time. You know what was impressive about Trump? Because he doesn't use big words. He's not articulate. He doesn't pretend to be super smart. Although he likes saying that he went to the best school and he's smart. But he doesn't pretend to come off as this polished, sophisticated, proper politician. But Kamala does. That's the difference, people. Right? But anyway, I digress. But let me say that too. See, Trump shouldn't even answer any more questions about January 6th or the 2020 election. He should say, you know what, I've litigated this 1,000 times, even in the last debate. So why are you asking about it again? You just want to make me look bad again. So next question. But what impressed me and what he did say about the 2020 election is because they pushed back on him and said, no, all the courts threw it all out. He's like, they only threw it out because of no standing. We didn't have standing. So he said a very technical legal term, and I was kind of impressed by that. Because yeah, the bar is low for him because he's a reality TV star turned president. He doesn't pretend to be something he's not. That's the whole difference. Is like when we are mocking Kamala for her word salads and her airheaded emptiness, it's because she presents herself in this very sophisticated, proper, professional way, and she does come off professional. So you would think that she is like so impressive with her speeches and with her answers for things. But when they're not scripted and when she's getting no pushback and she's allowed, like it's so easy for her to just talk and a bunch of Trump derangement syndrome hatred. Like when all she's doing is hating on Trump, yeah, of course she's not gonna have a word salad. Of course that was so easy for her to just say that stuff free flowing and she had all of her talking points ready to go. But it's when she gets pushed back on things and she's unprepared for an answer, that's her word salad. And so when you talk about Trump's word salads and the way Kamala has word salads, see Trump embraces and is proud of the way he just shoots off the cusp. And he doesn't prepare. He doesn't script things. He just says what he's thinking. Take it or leave it. He doesn't care. And that is the big difference. So of course he's going to have lapses in what he's saying or digressing or weaving and come back to it 10 topics later. Kamala is so scripted and so polished and so professional. She's a professional type, right? Lawyer, senator. That of course, I don't know why I did this, senator. She would, because I guess she was a real senator. She's really, again, slept her way into all of these positions, so I guess that works for it. But for being a lawyer, she's probably the lowest IQ lawyer ever, because when you think of a lawyer, you think of like such professionalism and such genius smarts, and yet the way she does word salads, which she's asked to talk, not scripted, and when she's asked something without getting asked it in advance or know what's coming, it's very cringy. Again, YouTube, Kamala, Jussie Smollett response. Oh my God, it's one of the worst you've ever heard of anyone ever say. So, in that way, Trump's word salads are normal, and they aren't so amplified because when she does it, it is like, wow, and this is coming from a lawyer. This is coming from someone who pretends to be so professional and polished and strives so hard to be so professional and scripted. She guards her responses so much with such scripted, planned responses, and Trump doesn't do any of that. So that's why, yeah, like when you realize Trump doesn't do any of that and Kamala does all of that, then of course Trump won the debate in the ways that matter. I just wish he was more articulate and was more descriptive and didn't say the same repetitive thing so many times and instead said a bunch of different things, like I've explained in the previous video, my reaction to the Kamala Trump debate. But all in all, Trump won the debate in the ways that mattered. Trump's presidential, she can be professional. Trump's a leader, she can be a spokesperson and the salesman. And yeah, I just wish he'd stop responding to every time there's a debate, or any time he already has litigated 1,000 times his answers on January 6th in the 2020 election. I just wish also he would just Stop feeling the need to answer everything, every little thing she was poking him with. Say that's silly. But on the thing about the people leaving his rally early, he should have said, "Are you serious? That's a joke. That's silly." But the only time people did leave my rally early is when we were getting shot at because you ordered it. That would have been so freaking epic. And your people leave early after your slutty, trashy concert acts are done singing. That would have been amazing. So I'm disappointed he didn't have as many great comebacks. Disappointed that he said a lot of the same thing instead of spraying it out with examples. And I'm disappointed that he did take the bait a lot because I'd rather him look a little more professional and a little less angry, but all in all, he's passionate and he exudes respect and confidence, and that's proven because he was a leader already. He was the leader already, and we had no attacks. There were no wars. He eliminated ISIS. He eliminated the Iranian general. It's just an absolute fact. Like, he has the proven track record. She would be a laughingstock. No one would respect her. Just like we have wars everywhere going on around the world because of Biden and Kamala. It will just be more of the same thing with Kamala at the one that Putin and Iranian Supreme Leader and Kim Jong-un and all of them deal with. Oh my God, it'd be so sad. We might get nuked. America might just get bombed. It'd be so sad. It's just so scary to think of her running this country because of that and because of the open borders and just the flood of migrants going everywhere, and they pop up and attack your sister, your mother, your daughter, your cousins, females in your life every day. There's more and more of it. Wake up, people, please. Alright, I was ready to upload this, but let me, I already got my shirt off. Let me add this. I want to emphasize this point so much. I emphasize it in the follow-up video talking about the border bill that Kamala refers to Trump killing. So that's a separate video that follows this. But let me emphasize this at the beginning of this video too, okay? So when the moderators asked Kamala one of the very few tough questions, and then of course she ignored answering it and just talked Trump bad, bad man, Trump orange, bad man, bad stuff. Because if she actually tried to answer something where she's on the spot for, she would do her word salads. So when the moderators asked her, why did you and Biden wait till 6 months before the election to do your executive order? Because this has been an emergency at the border forever, and girls are dying everywhere, all the time, every day, being attacked or dying because of illegal immigrants. And why did you wait for 6 months before the election? And she didn't answer that. Well, they should have followed up with, not even just, are you going to answer that? No, they should have said, you know what? Actually, why did you guys even remove Trump's executive order? When you and Biden took office, there was already an executive order, and border crossings were at an all-time low because of his Title 42 or whatever. Why did you guys just remove it and have no executive order at the border for the next 3.5 years, and then you just want to put your own executive order in 6 months before the election, right? Like, doesn't that look like pandering? Doesn't that look so fake? Doesn't it look like you guys don't really care about the border, which is obvious? We all know which party cares about the border or security and not letting illegal immigrants in, and which party always lets the illegal immigrants in because it's like the symbol of your party. And be empathetic, be American. Don't be racist. Don't be xenophobic. Let them all in. It's our neighbor. Joy and happiness. Let them all in, and just ignore when there's an illegal immigrant murdering a girl. That is the $1 million question. That is an absolute, that is just the question of the entire election, of all elections. That is the question, and that is the symbolic answer of the parties. Democrats can't answer that, and Republicans can answer it for the Democrats. We all know why. But you know what? If you just never remove Trump's executive order and then put in your own executive order 3.5 years later, all these people would not be dead. All these girls wouldn't be dead. Jocelyn Nunnery, Rachel Moran, Laken Riley, all of them. They all would be alive. Thousands and more would be alive. And Kamala's using Trump's border wall footage in her campaign ads, talking about how she's tough at the border. She vilified the wall. She thinks it's a mockery. She hates it, right? They're about open borders. She's on record. Just YouTube Kamala border wall. Kamala Trump wall. And see the things she has said about Trump's wall. And then how rich, right? It's on my NewsBall TikTok and Instagram as well, about how then she took footage of the wall, which is Trump's wall, like the wall that Trump built. She's using it in footage with her fake campaign ads to pander to voters to try to make her look like she's tough at the border. So it's just so silly and ridiculous. So it absolutely was in the right to not let her campaign on a bipartisan border bill, where then she gets to pretend even more that she's for the border. It's just so ridiculous. It's so no. Now I actually just want to put this at the end of my border bill video. It's unreal. Why'd you remove Trump's executive order and then leave the border open for 3.5 years? And then pretend it's all about, Trump didn't do this legislation, but then you do your own executive order right before this election. Give you a break. Sickening. You voters that fall for this nonsense, you know it, but you just don't care. You just want to have the right to abort any day, any time, any day, any place. I guess you want to just be able to do 50 abortions. I don't know. Or you want your welfare. I don't know. You want your endless welfare. You rooting for student loans all being wiped out. I have $50,000 of student loans that I never paid a cent on, and it's been 10 years. And I just ignore that. It's all about the Laugh at Your Debt podcast, which is a whole separate venture that's happening right now. But yeah, like I'm not gonna vote Democrat just because, yay, maybe let me root for the Democrats to wipe out my student loans. That's a figment of your imagination, people. But so I don't know why people vote Democrat, if you're not on welfare for life, and if you're not illegal, and if you're not trying to get your student loans, like they aren't a party of empowering small businesses. They aren't for capitalism. They aren't for safety. It's crazy. Oh man, I don't get it. I knew I forgot something. So when Trump was responding to the withdrawal of Afghanistan, that chaos that Biden and Kamala are responsible for, when people were hanging off of the plane, chasing after the plane, don't leave us behind, the suicide bombers blowing up the our military, just a sad, disgusting, embarrassing day, right? And then Kamala was like, oh, it's Trump's fault. They ordered the withdrawal. And Trump was like, if I was in charge, our servicemen would not have died that day. If I was in charge, and then he should have said, and if I was in charge, the women and girls of Afghanistan would not be so oppressed and living in absolute torture and slavery as they are now, thanks to you, Kamala. And you're for women's rights? You're standing up here talking about women's rights and the right to abort, and yet you and Biden allowed Afghanistan in 11 days, the fall of Afghanistan, the fall of their government after you withdrew in that disgusting way, and so sickening that the Taliban took over and oppressed the girls and the women. Now they're being raped daily. They're being hidden in their homes. They have to be covered from head to toe if they go outside. They're not, the women's voices, girls' voices aren't allowed to be heard in public. They just ban singing. They ban girls from speaking in public. There's no, you're not even allowed to speak, let alone go to school, and their shops that they had open are all closed down. This is what a women's right advocate stands for. They are responsible for turning Afghanistan into the most oppressed country for women on this planet. She want to talk about abortions here. Fight for the right to abort a baby, while in Afghanistan, you and Biden caused women's rights to go backwards 1,000 years to archaic caveman day like times. It's sickening. It is so sad and tragic. And where's the protesters? Where's these university protesters for women's rights being violated to the most extreme ever, as nowhere else like what's going on in Afghanistan? And it is sickening. Of course Trump wanted our troops out of these wars, but it would not have been done in such a pathetic and embarrassing way as what happened as soon as Biden took office, and he ordered this, and then in 11 days Taliban just runs all over that country, wiping out all the mayors and the provinces, and they take over Afghan. And if Trump was president, he'd say, no, Taliban, we're not going to let you be in charge of Afghanistan. I already wiped out ISIS. y'all not going to be in charge of Afghanistan. And he would have taken them out. And yet Biden and Kamala have allowed Taliban to rule Afghanistan this entire 4 years. And Kamala has allowed the girls and the women of Afghanistan to live in absolute slavery, torture, and oppression with zero rights. They had rights. They had their own shops, their beauty shops. They were out and about. The girls were back at school. And because of Biden and Kamala taking over for the last 4 years, they allowed the Taliban to take over Afghanistan and put the females of that country in the worst oppression with the least women's rights anywhere in the world. Trump should have put her on blast for this. But does anyone really care about that? I guess not. Because the university peeps, they're all freaking out still about Palestinian rights, which I'll never understand. All those people chose Hamas as their leaders. They elected them in 2007. And you got 2 million men and boys that are Hamas 2.0, because if they aren't Hamas 2.0, why aren't they rising up and overthrowing those couple thousand of Hamas fighters that are hiding all amongst them? They know where they're at. They're in bed with them. They're helping them. The hostage rescue, it was a journalist of Palestine that was holding them captive for Hamas. So it's like all of this crying and whining. And where do you see barbaric savagery, Roman gladiator town squares where you're mocking and cheering the capture of humans like they're animals? Only in barbaric third world countries. How could people be on the side of Palestine more than a civilized country where we can relate to with culture and values like Israel? How could be against Israel and on the side of a barbaric Islamic country where it's proven? Look at the videos of them spitting, kicking, cheering, jeering, mocking. They're concert goers. They're not even Israelis, some of them. They're captured like animals and brought into the Gaza town square, and thousands of people are just mocking and cheering their capture and happy that they're being enslaved and put in the tunnels, and all those Palestinians, except the babies there. The mothers, the women, the boys, the men, they're all conspirators with Hamas. This 40,000 dead thing is a joke. How many of them are literally really like Hamas 2.0? And they, again, you made your bed, you lied in it. You now lay in it. Like, until you're ready to overthrow Hamas yourselves, the IDF and Israel's doing it for you. It's that simple. How could anyone be protesting something so undeserving as the Palestinians' plight for what they cause themselves? Ooh, they're Israel's colonizers, whatever. That's so overplayed. Indians, they own America. That's so overplayed, right? And instead, y'all should be protesting the 100% oppression of girls, women, children, all females in Afghanistan. All thanks to Kamala. My phone literally ran out of space, so it shut down. So I get to emphasize this more. All thanks to Kamala. And she's for women's rights. But she doesn't give a damn about the millions of girls and women in Afghan that have now suddenly gone from oppressed in some ways, but women's rights were gaining, to a complete destruction of women's rights in Afghanistan. Oh, yeah, so they're good at that. Democrats are good at absolutely going from 0 to 100, like on that. The destruction of women's rights in Afghanistan. So they're living in absolute terror and suffering and oppression, right? And then we got things like importing 15,000 Haitians to Springfield, Ohio, where their population was 60,000. Or maybe it was 45,000 and now it's 60,000. Wow, even crazier ratio if it went a 33% increase from, you have a certain culture and you know everyone in the community, to now you get 15,000 Haitians. But yeah, Democrats are good at this. And of course at the border, just getting rid of Trump's executive order when Biden and Kamala took office, letting millions flood in for 3.5 years, letting them murder so many girls around this country. And now, right before the election, Kamala and Biden do an executive order to limit the border crossings only after a certain while, right? It isn't even a strong executive order, but it's something. But it's not, it's all for pandering. It's not even a real executive order like Trump did. Trump's executive order was powerful. It really shut things down. And that is truly a low level of immigration that we had. And Democrats want to say, oh, it's not even a problem now. Border crossings are down. Yeah, they're down because Biden did an executive order finally after the stupid game where they allowed them all to flood in for the last 3.5 years. And as soon as Kamala were to win, of course the executive order would be gone again. And of course, oh my gosh, they're just all for show. It's all fake. It's all an act. And how can anybody be for the Democratic Party? Like, don't you care? Like, we have no border. There's no security. You all protect your house. You all lock your front door. And all you latte-sipping liberals, you all living behind gates and fences and walls, gated communities. How do you not care if America has a border or not? That it's being secured and protected or not? How do you not care that these girls are being murdered all the time, attacked and raped at parks, out in public? You don't care? You will. It happens to you when the ratio of immigrants in your area and that you're surrounded by is higher and higher, and then the likelihood of it happening to you becomes so much more likely, where you actually start fearing it. By then it'll be too late. The Democrats will absolutely destroy this country by allowing the invasion to go for so long at such a full force. But yeah, this executive order that's in place right now just until the election is so fake. It's so half-assed. It only limits entries after a certain number each day. It's just so sad. It's so sickening. I cannot believe that some people call themselves Americans and that they claim that being a Democrat is like the righteous party, right? And that Trump is a danger to democracy, as if Democrats aren't literally destroying democracy daily with this mockery of voting by just expanding mail-in ballots more and more. Yeah, certain professions you should be qualified to do mail-in ballots because of your work schedule, and for military and for elderly. But the overwhelming majority of people should have to go to the polls and vote and show your ID. It's how it should be. The Democrats are literally the party of destroying America. They are against democracy, and it's just so rich. They want to pretend like Trump's a danger to democracy. It's just so sickening. But yeah, everybody, let's remember, Kamala is not about women's rights unless it's only for women's rights that may vote for her. Pandering to just the voters, because she don't care about the Afghan girls. She don't care about any girls and women anywhere around the world, right? And especially, she is to blame for the Afghan girls and women's plight into complete slavery and oppression and terror and torture daily. Like, literally, Trump would not have allowed the Taliban to take over that country. 11 days in, oh, damn, the Afghan government fell. I guess that withdrawal wasn't handled right. Of course, it was so pathetic looking. The plane, people hanging off of the plane. Please don't leave me behind. But at least once you saw the Taliban take over Afghan, why don't you go in with military snipers and remove them all and give the government back, prop up the Afghan government again and just help them and assist them. But not, because Trump would not have stood for that. He did not stand for ISIS. We eliminated ISIS. And now they're rising again because Biden is an absolute pathetic professional joke. And Kamala is the same thing. Do not let her professionalism fool you. Who cares about her professionalism? It means nothing. It won't save America. It won't save anybody. Nobody cares about your professionalism. Everyone's walking all over Biden because he's so professional, he's so diplomatic, he's so weak, he's so predictable, and that's Kamala. Yeah, you're so professional. Yeah, you're so diplomatic. Yeah, so what? You're so predictable because you have to be professional. You have to be diplomatic. You can't do much than sanction Russia. Trump would not stand for any of this. Putin knows, Trump's not about sanctions. Trump about pushing buttons and bombing y'all. That's what he did. And they respected him after that. He sneak attacked that Iranian general, and they gave and Iran was broke. Good thing he said that at the debate. Iran was broke and with no money, but Biden took off all the sanctions of Iran and gave them all this money, billions and trillions of dollars, and now they've funded all of these terrorist groups around the world and caused the attack against the concert goers in Israel. It's so sickening. It's just so ridiculous. Who the hell is fooled by professionalism equaling presidential? Professionalism equaling a leader, professionalism equaling safety. It doesn't. We are under the most danger, the most wars and terror on the earth like never before. And it's because we have a professional duo here in Biden and Kamala. Predictable diplomats, they're fake ass scum. Kamala being a lawyer, double scum. And Trump, he doesn't. Why do you want to be professional? That's not how you get things done. Not in this role. It's not what America needs. You need a balance, and he's the perfect balance. He's so freaking passionate. It's just crazy if you don't see that.